to Booking the Wrestler.
I had to do a little jingle because I thought this was going to be Gump Report. I filmed just a few seconds. I said, wait a minute, I'm not doing Gump Reports. I'm doing Booking the Wrestler. Booking the Wrestler, the AEW edition with Sheeta and Selena Deeps. Now, I tried to film this night before last. And next to the camera botching and messing up the files on it when I was trying to transfer, I messed up the video anyway because it wasn't what I wanted to say. So I had to redo it. Here we are. Now, this is about Selena Deeps, and this is about Sheeta. I hate the storyline they're in. It's stupid. It does not give Sheeta something. It gives more to Deeps than Sheeta, and that pisses me off. Why do they do this to Japanese wrestlers? Instead of giving them real storylines that goes with their characters that is from Japan, no. They don't make it enticing for Americans. They don't. So I'm going to book it. This is what I was thinking. Let's say around June of this year, and I'm not going by actual storyline. This is what I'm making. Let's say June of this year. Sheeta was in a feud with Britt Baker, and Selena Deeps was working with Rio. They went on for 2 months. And pretty much both of them were working their matches with Selena Deeps. It is Rio. And with Sheeta, it's going to be, well, let me put it like this. Once she beats her opponents, she is near the 50 mark. She is. She finally reaches the 50 mark of the first woman in AEW history to reach 50 wins. And the only thing she needed was just one more win. Now, this goes with actual storyline, what happened already, where she was going to get a plaque as the first woman to get 50 wins. But that did not happen in real storyline because she lost to Selena Deeps. And Selena Deeps hurt her with the very plaque. Now, in this situation, this is where we're going to go. It is now August. As I said, both of them had feuds. Both of them went through their feuds, and both of them racked up a great amount of wins. Sheeta was at 49. She only needed one more win. And she was going up against Selena Deep, who is a face here. Throughout this entire thing I'm writing, she's a face. So, they had their match. And Sheeta believed that she's not going to lose. She had a an interview before the match saying that this is my final win. I will be the first woman in AEW history, the first one to get 50 wins. And I am so excited. I am going to make this mean something. And Selena Deeps doesn't do any type of interview or anything. She's already in the ring. No intro, nothing. And then you get Sheeta with her intro, with her Titantron intro. She comes in, she's doing what she normally does, and then they have the match. And in this situation, where unlike real storyline, Selena Deeps basically turns heel and messes her up, this is a clean match, and Sheeta loses. She does not get her win. But Selena Deeps and Sheeta shake hands. But they make it very clear by commentary by Excalibur saying that even though she did not get the win, she can still go for it. No matter what, as long as she gets her 50th win, she will get the plaque and the recognition of becoming the first woman in AEW history to get 50 straight wins. No losses. Not no losses, but 50 wins, period. That's how it's been going. So, this is before the TBS title tournament. Between August to October, she tries to get her 50th win. She doesn't. She goes through Nia Rose and she loses because of outside interference. She goes through Rio and Rio beats her ass. She goes through Britt Baker and she wins again. That's Britt Baker because she is AEW champion. She has Hager at this point around September, and she also have Rebel. No way has she been able to win. There's just no way. She has not been able to get it done. She just can't because everyone either is better than her on that day or she's been treated badly because there have been shenanigans. Now, she starts getting frustrated. And I'm making it clear that Sheeta is not turning heel here. This is a story of determination and obsession. Obsession does not mean you be evil or be a monster. Obsession is something that you must complete. You must have, you must obtain, you must control, you must absorb into yourself. Something that you must have. It becomes an obsession. It doesn't mean you're evil because of it. It just means that you're willing to do whatever you can to try and get it. So when it comes to Sheeta, she is becoming more and more and more frustrated. She wants to win so badly that plaque that literally every time she's going to have a match, it's set outside, waiting for her to get it, and Tony Schiavone's standing right next to it with a mic in his hand, waiting for her to win. And he's rooting her on, and everyone is rooting her on. And every match she's gone through, which has been Rio, which has been Nia Rose, which has been Britt Baker, she went through Jamie Hager, she went through Rebel, she went through Thunder Rosa. Going into November, she could not get it done. And then the TBS title tournament was announced. Finally, she has an opportunity at a new title, maybe a new fresh perspective, going after a newly branded title, which is shown on TV the night before on Dynamite, because this is Rampage. It's the first night of Rampage for the first bracket of the title match, well, the title tournament. And guess what? It's her and Selena Deeps again, where it all started, her first true loss before she finally was about to get her 50th win. And Selena Deeps is still a face. Sheeta's still a face. And she is so determined. She says in an interview beforehand, like Selena Deeps says, I want to be the first women's champion of the TBS title. I want to be first. And Sheeta says, I will do what I need to do to win because I know I am the best woman. And she goes out there, faces Selena Deeps, which is a tremendous match, and again loses to Selena Deeps. Handedly loses. She's frustrated throughout most of that match, and then by the end of it, she loses. And she screams in frustration. She screams like she lost her child. That's how frustrated she's screaming. She's so angry. She's so frustrated. She's so determined. She wants to get things done, but she couldn't get it done. So she's out of the tournament, and Selena Deeps continues going. Now, the next couple of weeks after that, she has matches, but she's so frustrated. Instead of trying to win the match by straight up wrestling, she gets so angry, she attacks her opponent before the match happens. No, not before. She attacks her opponent as the match is going on and gets disqualified. This happened 3 times. And she finally is questioned by Tony, and he says, why are you acting like this? You know you can beat these women. You're one of the best wrestlers. And she says, get away from me. I want my plaque. I am a proud Japanese wrestler. I must prove I am the best. Selena Deeps, this started with you. I want another match with you. I must have another match with you so I can finally avenge my win. Because it started with you and it must end with you. So, the next week, she finds Selena Deeps and she says, I want to face you. And she says, no, I can't. I have a match this Friday because it's not being done on Dynamite. It's being done on Rampage. Her match is on Rampage. She's not going to wrestle the night before, well, two nights before, because in this situation, she was ordered by management because they didn't want anyone getting hurt or being beaten up beforehand, because it happened with Nia Rose, beating up on some of the women. It happened with Jade Cargill, and she said no one who's in the tournament can have any matches, period. So her hands are tied. She can't. And you see Sheeta just explode with frustration. And it's not evil frustration, it's just frustration. Only thing she wants to do is prove herself. She's an honorable Japanese wrestler. And she tries after that again to wrestle. Try to be calm and then still loses. And this happens another 2 times. This is now into January of next year, because it's this year going into 2022. And she becomes obsessed, not just to get her plaque and to be considered the first woman to get 50 wins, but Selena Deeps becomes her obsession. She wants Selena Deeps because she believes it all started in August, when they first had that match, that everything went downhill for her. So at this point, she makes it clear she doesn't want to wrestle anybody but Selena Deeps. And management gives her someone to wrestle, and she flat out refuses. She sits in the middle of the ring. She refuses to wrestle. Anyone that goes in there and said, come on, let's go, she lays flat on the mat and says no. She refuses to wrestle. Or she'll go roll outside the ring, and she just stands there and she refuses to wrestle. Some people take advantage of her, beat her up. Well, not lay flat in the ring. She lays Indian style in the ring, refuses to wrestle. She gets beat up and she gets pinned because she won't put up a fight. She goes outside the ring and she stands there and waits. She has the worst loss record of at least 20 losses. And she refuses to wrestle anybody but Selena Deeps. Anytime when Selena comes out, she's out there demanding a match, and it did not matter that it was part of the tournament. She's begging for it, pleading for it, and then she gets so angry, she actually hits Selena Deeps. Now, this was not on purpose, because at that time, Selena was being attacked. And you know what? Just because she wants to match with her, she doesn't hate Selena Deeps. She actually went out to help her, but then she hits her in the face by accident. And Selena, for her credit, realizes she didn't mean it. But when she realized what she did, she was so upset. She decided to take her kendo stick and she handed it to Selena and turned herself around and kneeled down and says, hit me. No, she turns around, gives it a... Let me take it back, sorry. Because it's actually kind of cool. She is so shocked and frustrated in what she did. She goes outside the ring. She gets her kendo stick. She gets a mic. She jumps back into the ring. She hands her kendo stick to Selena, and she says on the mic, I must show honor and respect. Hit me with my own weapon. She puts the mic down and she kneels in front of her and says, hit me on my back with it. Make me pay for it. It is a honor of Bushido. Say it like that. Like I said, make it mean something for a Japanese wrestler. Bushido is an important part of Japanese culture, even today. And she refuses to move until she hits her. Selena, on her credit, gets down on her knees and says, I can't do that to you. I know you're my friend. I can't hit you. And she puts the candlestick down and rolls out of the ring and walks away. She says, you're my friend. I won't hit you. And she just screams in rage and frustration again. Because now a friend will not help her. And part of the Bushido code, and I'm saying it is, in this situation of the story, because a friend refuses to do it, it shows that you're a bad person. And you must show penance. So now she goes through Japanese rituals, going down to the ring and trying to make amends. This is how you start trying to build up a person differently, to show what her culture means to her, what she cares about in wrestling, because at this moment, we don't see it. Now, going into All In, Selena Deeps is finally TBS champion. And eventually, she doesn't win in matches by herself. The only time she ever seems to win is in tag teams, 6 women tags, 8 women tags, and 10 women tags. But as a singles competitor, she just can't get it done. And that's what she cares about most. And finally, at the point when when buy-in comes in, All In, not buy-in, All In comes in, Selena Deeps has already been champion 2 to 3 months already. And she sees Shida. And she says, how are you feeling? Are you all right? And she says, I'm fine. I've seen you've been winning in matches. Says, yes, but they've been tag teams. And she's not happy because it's not what she wants. She's a singles competitor. She's very proud, and she says, please. She takes a hand up Selena Deep's, bowing like this, saying, Selena, please, you're my friend. I understand you could not hit me with my kendo stick, but please, I beg you, help me to save face. Help me to finally feel right. Give me one match with you. Please. Please, all I want is to have my 50th win. I don't care about your title. I just want to try and get that plaque to finally be the 50th woman to win. Because at this point, no one's gotten 50 wins. Still, everyone is in the 40s. No one's gotten 50 yet. No one. So, she agrees. And at All In, it is at the end of the show, Selena Deeps versus Hiro Kushida. And in this situation, finally, Hiro Kushida wins her match against Selena Deeps. She screams in joy, and she started to cry in the middle of the ring. And Selena, for her part, as her friend, hugs her. She hugs her, then rolls out of the ring, comes back into the ring with the plaque, and hands it to her. And she looks at it, and she just hugs it, and crying with tears. She puts it down, she straightens herself and her clothes, and she faces her friend, kneeling, and bows to her and say, thank you. I love you. Thank you for this opportunity to finally let me be who I am, a pro wrestler. Because at that point, a mic's in her face because Tony Schiavone came into the ring. He wasn't allowed to say anything, but he's holding the mic, and you hear everything she says to Selena. She says simply, I love you. You are my best friend. And she bows before her and say, thank you for this moment. This means more to me than the championship because I finally became my destiny. Just a plaque of showing the 50th win to her, because at that point, no one had managed to make it. And there's the story of Hiro Kushida and Selena Deeps of the AEW Booking the Wrestler, and I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me if you want me to do another one. I don't know if anyone's going to see this one, even give a damn. I don't even know if it sounds good, but I hope it does, even though I was botching. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.